Rick, what's your name?
Jed.
Jed. Jeroen, what's your name?
I don't have that.
Brianna, what's your name? Rosalie, okay. Alright. Diebertje, what's your name?
Hideko Sayonji.
Sayonji.
Yep.
Okay, nice. Thank you. Good. So, I'm gonna, now we're gonna move forward a few years. You're gonna grow a few years. As you've noticed, I've been putting some stuff up around the room and here. I was just trying to think about in terms of traffic patterns. You're gonna have a chance to get up and look at some of these images and comment on them as your character who may have aged a few years. Some images from the 20s, but I just want to point out a few highlights to you before we do that. These, I would say, are some of the things that characterize the 20s. Consumerism, prohibition. Prohibition of what, Fiona? What was prohibited during the 20s? Alcohol, right, exactly. It was also called the Jazz Age. I believe in the reader it's called the Jazz Era, but I'm actually more familiar with the term Jazz Age, and I'll tell you where that came from in a moment. Harlem Renaissance. You ever heard of the Harlem Renaissance before? I was disappointed that these last two things weren't mentioned in the reading, so I had to throw them in there because I think they're very important. Women's suffrage. Does that mean women are suffering? Possibly also, but yeah, what?
In Harlem they had like the birth control by Margaret Sanger.
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
Good one.
Listen to this, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in this,
Oh, it was in this, I believe. Okay, good for you. Yeah, that started in the 1920s.
For the
Planned Parenthood was
was
organization.
seven for blacks and only colored people worked there.
Yes. Yeah, so that was a big deal in Harlem. Yeah, so that was, yeah, a step forward for women, also for African Americans. Do you know what the term women's suffrage refers to? Also not in the reading, sadly enough, because there was the 20th Amendment, also very important, ladies. What could that be?
Voting.
Voting. It wasn't until 1920. Black men started to be able to vote right after the Civil War, well, supposedly, but as you know, it was not necessarily that easy. Women not until 1920, so that was a big thing in the 20s. Kind of the first feminist movement in the United States. So here's just a few pictures to go with it. Look at my beautiful new refrigerator. Look how special I am. I own a refrigerator. About 90% of people started owning refrigerators in the 20s, so before that, it was just an ice box, which literally had ice in it. So we have an electric refrigerator. So we have, and of course we also have a maid to go with it here. So that was a big thing. People started buying more stuff than they ever had. You know, people had more cash. Herbert Hoover, the president, encouraged companies to make as much stuff as possible and people to buy it.